Hello and welcome. This is going to be the first episode of Port Huron Statement presents Sports Talk, Michigan Sports Talk. I realized a couple things. One, obviously, sports is a lot of what's become local culture. Local sports culture is much of what is local culture, and so, and plus, I'm a Michigan Detroit sports fan, so I know a lot about the sports, and I figure I might as well start taking advantage of that opportunity. Um, so yeah, the first thing we're gonna talk about. Hold on. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is, the Detroit Lions' awesomely terrible victory. Jared Goff had such a great several games. Like, I guess the first two games were great for Goff, and then he went went on an amazing streak, and then Sunday, so it's 2 days ago, was rough. 5 interceptions. I'm sure most people that are familiar with sports in the area probably know about the 5 interceptions. And did he end up with like 180 yards, 15 for 30? Yeah, not a great day, but he completed the passes he needed to complete. He got in a rhythm, and he played it really good, especially fourth quarter. Even the third quarter was an improvement, but I think he still threw picks in the third quarter. The thing is, though, is that when you look back on those picks, so it's batted ball. Then the Hail Mary play right at the end of the second quarter, and that gets picked. Then it's the one that he throws up to, is it Jameson Williams, where it gets kind of turned around and the defender is able to, cut the pass. That one was rough. That was a bad decision and bad pass. And then there's the other one by the goal line that was just a bad pass. I don't think the decision was bad. I think the guy he had to make a really good pass instead, Yeah, and I think we just need to understand that people, I don't think it's anything to be worried about, because again, the Hail Mary play, it's one of those throw it up 50-50 anyway. Doesn't even really count as a pick. 2 batted balls don't really count as picks. He had 2 picks. Still not great, but 2 picks. Different story. Yeah. The rest of the team played really well, though. Even though okay. Now let's go back to that. Most of the team played well. I'd say that the big problems were offensive line and Jared Goff. I don't think we can blame the running backs, because there's just too many missed blocks. So it's hard to get yards if you're having contact at the line of scrimmage. But still an amazing win. I mean, the Lions, with Zadarius Smith coming in to provide edge rushing, I mean, they had good pressure from the interior rush and from the outside. So if we had, a solid edge rusher, it should be the best team in football. If Aiden was on the team and we have Zadarius Smith, I mean, that would be really outstanding. Really outstanding. But we also have to remember, it's very important that when smaller market sports teams do well, that they use that opportunity to benefit the greater community. Because they can have such a great impact, one, and two, in these smaller markets, people really listen to the sports stars, especially when they're doing well. So taking that platform and utilizing it to positively influence the community in the region is really a responsibility that comes with the great privilege that it is to be a professional athlete in this society at this point. And I don't mean, if you want to bring up your religion, it's very important that you realize how much of an unethical move it is to exploit Christianity to advance your career. So if you're going to do it, there needs to be a reason other than the advancement of your career and other than the advancement of your religion. You need to be helping humanity. Otherwise, you're financializing your religion. That is the, using God's name in vain. Whenever you're using this religion or your God to advance your own personal wealth and your own career, or to advance the prerogatives outside of the human one, the humanistic ones, the ones that are charitable and kind. And that doesn't mean just saying God won and bouncing around and getting 1 million more followers. It means having a message of charity that isn't contingent upon people agreeing with you. Don't be tribal. That is not a message of hope. When I say tribal, I mean in-group. I mean, don't. The message keeps being over and over again on major media. It's a my way or the highway type thing. The idea that the idea of evangelization, I know, is what's being exploited here. But it's not real. It's just not. If you believe in Jesus and you want to evangelize, what you need to evangelize is the message of charity, and the idea of the golden rule: treat others as they want to be treated. Remember in the Bible that it says that people that outwardly display their piety, that's sinful. You're not supposed to be using your piety and orthodoxy as leverage in your career. And that's what you're doing when you externalize the religion without using it at least to promote charity and kindness, the golden rule, and most of all, you need to stop enabling people that want to use the religion exclusively for profit and exploitation. Because those are the people that are seeking you out and that are encouraging you to bring religion into sports, because they benefit, and you benefit, but they benefit, and they are changing the world for the worst. Anyway, then the Pistons. The Pistons had a great game too, even though, they lost a lead. Then great play, to get into overtime, and they hustle. The Pistons are similar to the Tigers, and even the Lions, like all of them, and even the Red Wings have showed a great, camaraderie. I'd say, especially the Lions and Tigers, and that like Detroit grit thing. Like the last Lions win was a great team effort, and the last Pistons win, this Pistons win last night, great team effort. Also, I think that the coaching has greatly improved for the Pistons. Obviously, the coaching for the Lions is unquestionably good. I think that maybe the Lions should implement some type of statistical veto person, someone that can realize when the juice ain't worth the squeeze, especially now that we have a good kicker. Also, yeah, gotta give a lot of praise to kicker Bates, right? Yeah. Way to go. Way to rise up the ranks, especially Bates. Bates, I feel like he's sincere in his religious message, so if you're going to use that message, actually use it for good, not for indoctrination. Because when you just use the dog whistle, what's the point? You're just going to increase your followers. You're not actually going to. If you're going to use the dog whistle, meaning to say like the God One stuff and all these things that are repeated in the in-group, if you use that, you're not expanding the message. You're just talking to people already in the in-group, and you're just expanding your own personal following and your influence on those people. If you really want to expand the Jesus message, the message is a message of charity. The message is one of no intellectual fraud, so don't manipulate the religion for your own personal gain. Golden rule and no betrayal. Read the New Testament. Don't financialize your religion. Don't trade human beings for 40 pieces of silver. There's a lot of ways to do that. And then the Wings have had great goaltending. They just played the Rangers. They played their best game. Shot. Great scoring opportunities, and they lose. And it's not Husso's fault. He played a great game, actually. The goaltending's been outstanding for the Red Wings. They haven't been scoring, though. But last game was such a good sign. I think they're moving forward. Just got to shoot the puck more. I'd like to see more low shots or, rebounds, pass out the pad type stuff. Get a little dirtier, a little grimier, more crash the net. And I'd like to see a heavier forecheck. Frankly, they're a fast team. Send two. That's just me. Especially with that quality of goaltending. You got Lyon in there or Talbot. They're both playing great. Start sending a heavy forecheck. But, and of course I love the Tigers. The Tigers model is the best professional team model I've seen. I think GM is doing such a good job. Harris and obviously J. Hinch is doing a really good job of managing the team. I'd like to see the team essentially stay the exact same. They should already be signing almost the entire team to extensions, and not doing that is stupid. Pretty much the entire team should be on at least the 2-3 year extension right now to keep the prices down. Why didn't they sign Riley Green last year? Why didn't they extend? I can understand why you wouldn't want to extend Torkelson because of the up and downs, but Riley Green should definitely have been extended. He's showed not only constant improvement, but just his fielding is worth it. What's his name? Parker Meadows. Extend him now. Make him $5 million now a year or something. He's going to sign it in 2 years. 40. Same with Riley Green. What? He's a $20 million player already. No doubt. Who else? They got to sign these guys, man. Oh, jeez. They should extend McKinstry. They should extend Vierling. They should extend. Just because they're good enough to where they're going to demand more money than they would if they stay. The Tigers get early contracts, and then even if some of them don't work out, it's not going to be that big of a hit. Sign them now, and then they feel like there's no stress of performance. This team just wants to be a team. Pay them right, pay them fair, pay them evenly. Keep this culture. It will continue to win. You'll have a winning team for 10 years. And if you sign them early and you have a couple that go bust, you're losing a $3 million contract. It's going to be in the trash, not a $30 million contract. The risk versus reward, you can screw up 9 times, and it won't be as bad as one of those bad big contracts. It's just a statistically better way to look at it. As soon as they show good promise and consistency, give them a decent contract. And make it performance-based so that they're not screwing themselves either. You know? Oh, it'd be so easy to construct this. Look what Shohei did, you know, with his contract to prevent the salary cap hit. There's so many creative ways that you can do these salaries and get around the salary cap potential problem. All these businessmen that run these sports teams and do such a crappy job. It's mind-blowing how they believe that they're so superior to everyone else, but whatever. Yeah, and I'll leave my my tirade about the LCA to the next one and how BS that stuff is. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to insert every single one of my my Michigan sports talks. They're gonna have one of those sort of ugly truth moments, because the sports teams, they make so much profit, right? Like the fact that states and cities have been leveraged into paying for their stadiums, and then my favorite part is with the LCA, and this is happening in a lot of places. Oh, well, the state and the city, they can only raise a part of it. Oh, that's right. The LHS will loan you the money, and you can build it for them and pay them back over the next 50 years. Don't worry, it's 100% interest. The state of Michigan and the city of Detroit are paying $800 million for the LCA to a financing company that was created by the LHS to finance the LCA for the state and the city. So the state and the city would pay for the construction, but the LHS would exclusively have rights to use it. And the way it's set up, too, is the LHS aren't even going to have to pay to demolish it. Oh, man. Pretty sure that, the city would be responsible for that. Yeah, and also, the way that they got that property, we got a lot to talk about. And this is what I mean by these sports stars could really become activists and really improve the quality of life for all Americans. Because think about what $1 billion would have done in the Michigan budget if we could just transfer that wealth to the working poor, to veterans that aren't getting the appropriate benefits. We could transfer that to, build housing. We could use that money to do employment education, do small business loans, all types of things that we could do with that money. We could build canals and, improve the harbors across the Great Lakes. We could put in a container port here. You know how valuable that would be to have a container port in Michigan and increase the amount of shipping container traffic here. I mean, that'll increase the value of everything, because now we can start exporting directly from the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan has such an outstanding potential gross domestic product. So remember, the first internationally exported canned fish product came from the Great Lakes, Cisco. The wood from here provided the wood for the Royal Navy for 100 years, and then, for the U.S. Navy, copper for all the pennies comes from Michigan. It's just the state. The oil. We have petroleum. The kerosene and gasoline were discovered in the Cuyahoga Basin. That's just south of Michigan. The point is all the resources are here. That's why industrialization started here. We have been tricked into believing that the only reason it can't continue here is because of the exploitation of currency exchange, especially with China. And I think that's the end of my sports talk. In the future, I'm going to go every game. I'm just going to, but this one I felt like it was a good introduction. I'm going to start with it. So every game by a major Michigan team, I'm going to try and give my 2 cents. Yeah. Yes. I'm an excellent sports bettor, and I do watch these games almost every time. So I figure the ones that I don't watch live, I can, watch later while I edit these. Kind of, yeah, probably. If I don't, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, people love the sports talk, so that's why I'm doing it. Plus, I kind of like it, and I think it's a great way to get into people's minds and inform them so they don't keep getting exploited. And their exploitation ultimately negatively impacts me, and it negatively impacts you, whoever you are, regardless of where you are.